All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Living the Dream podcast. Today on the show, we are going through the Law of Success series. We got the next chapter, which is all about saving, which I don't think this needs much explanation. What is saving? Napoleon Hill is simply talking about saving income and living below your means in this chapter. And it's one of the foundational principles of success because he says that it lets you take advantage of opportunity. It allows you to grow in confidence, imagination, leadership, and vision. It's very hard to focus on increasing your income or focus on things that aren't your survival basic needs if your survival basic needs aren't met. So if you have 6 months of living expenses saved up, 12 months of living expenses, even more than that, if that's where your risk tolerance is, it really helps you just grow as a human because you have that safety net where you're like, okay, I have this launch pad that I can launch from, and I'm not trying to go make sales to feed my face. And I'm worried about how I feed my face. That causes stress, which really hurts my ability to focus, right? So that's really what he's talking about. He's saying every time you get paid, save a definite proportion of your income. And it's not turning you into like a person who um, saves more and then hurts their life or doesn't save at all. It's like helping you live within your budget. It's like you don't have to change anything about your life. Simply take 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, whatever your fancy is, of everything you earn, put into a savings account that you don't touch. And the first month won't be anything. Month 6 won't really be anything. Month 12, month 24, it still might not be enough. But once you get to like 3 years, 4 years of consistent saving, you're like, wow, I have a really good safety net of like, say you did $500 a month. Now you're looking at $18,000, $24,000 saved up. And if you're only saving $500 a month, chances are your expenses aren't too high. So that can probably cover a good chunk of your expenses for the year, whatever it may be. Gives you that safety net. So then when you see an opportunity, like an investment opportunity or a big expense comes up, you're not super stressed about it, and you can take advantage of the opportunity because you've saved. So that's why it's foundational for success. Where has saving shown up in my life? Honestly, guys, I'm pretty bad with saving, mostly because I like to take all the money that I have and invest it in myself. A lot of successful people talk about, yes, having that 6 to 12 months of living expenses, having your basic needs met, but they also talk about heavily investing in yourself. I've gone a little too much on the investing in myself, and I'll like not have 6 months of living expenses. Granted, I just got out of college, haven't been full-time earning income for the longest amount of time. So it's a little bit harder to have that 6 months, 12 months already saved up. And I'd say the other thing though is it's the discipline of saving. So where do I want it to show up in my life? It's really like I want to be more disciplined about my saving and then not touching my saving account. So if something really important comes up, like investing in myself or a family emergency, I don't have the funds to really do it, like just discretionary funds. So maybe I'll dip into my savings account, maybe I'll put some on my credit card here, and it's like I'm investing in myself or I'm helping family out. And that's an excuse in my head, but I'm like, no, I need to put that money in a savings account and literally not touch it. Because the reason I'm so stressed, the reason I'm always spinning my wheels, the reason I'm always like, I need income now is because I don't have that safety net, right? And that type of mentality, while it can get you far, it can also get you to the point where your expenses creep up as your income creeps up. So if I'm always trying to maximize my spending, I'm like, okay, when I get to $6,000 a month, I'll invest an extra $3,000 a month in myself. When I get to $10,000 a month, I'll invest an extra $6,000 a month in myself. And it's like at some point, you just need to be consistent with saving, and habits um, can start now, always. If I'm getting money now, I can save money right now. And so I need to be consistent and disciplined about saving the money. So as I scale, I can save the appropriate amount of money and invest the appropriate amount of money in myself. And so there's just stuff you should be doing with where you're at, and you can get to where you're at through hustle of like time, energy, and effort and relationships. And you don't always have to put money in. Money is like a tool that can be used to make things easier, to streamline things, but there's always other ways to do it if you can get creative. And if you save, you have that space to be creative. So that's really where I want saving to show up in my life. It has shown up in the sense that I do save a little bit. I have a consistent saving. I consistently read about um, financial intelligence, financial knowledge. It's just the discipline of saving I feel like I haven't been earning money enough to really see the fruits of it, and there seems to always be something that comes up. I want to see that discipline kick in, and like, okay, when something comes up, I stick to my savings account and I say no to things that seem like they need to be paid for, to respect myself, if that makes sense. How can you apply it to your life? Again, really simple. Take a set percentage from every paycheck and put it into a savings account that you don't touch, and just save, save, save. And once you get to that 6 month, 12-month mark, put that savings to work in investments. And it's like, it's still like a savings. Like if you need to tap into those investments, you can, but ultimately it's like you don't want to touch that either. And as you have your money work for you, as you know, you increase your cash flow, you'll be able to save more, invest more, et cetera, et cetera. And that's just the money game, right? Which is part of the reason why I'm always investing in myself, because I'm like, okay, well, eventually I'm gonna get my spot to an income where it's like, okay, I'm making 10,000 a month. My living expenses only 30. Living and business expenses only 3,200 a month. I'm gonna put away X amount of that. And I'm gonna pay off X amount of debt, which is the other thing that Napoleon Hill talks about. He talks about slavery of debt and how when we're in debt, it causes stress, causes us to be short-sighted, and we don't feel free. And I think a lot of people talk about this of being in debt. Even Dave Ramsey. Now, I'm not a big fan of Dave Ramsey. His financial principles will get you to the point where you have $3 million plus by the time you're 65. I kind of want to do it differently. I'm like, if Jeff Bezos could be working at McDonald's at 24 and scale his income to freaking 180 plus billion by the time he's 55, like there's something to the money game that I don't know right now. So I'm looking for that information, which is why I spend money investing in myself, which is why I take the time, energy, and effort to invest in myself. And that's where my savings really goes. But I do need to build up that discipline, 6 months, 12 months of living expenses, which for me is like, I don't know, like $18,000 to $36,000 right now. I'm just looking at about 3,000 a month in living expenses. So maybe even cutting that down some, with like house hacking, paying off the car, stuff like that. But yeah, guys, that is the Napoleon Hill tips on saving. Get out of debt because it traps you and it makes you a slave. Live within your means, and then save 10% of your income. And when that saving gets to like 6 to 12 months, this is just my tip, I wouldn't keep saving. I'd put your money to work for you, because ultimately, if you want to build wealth, you need money working for you. Last tip I'll say is read The Richest Man in Babylon. It really goes through practical financial tips, and is great for like giving you advice on investing. That is classic. Giving you advice on saving. That is classic. And giving you advice on living a simple life that allows you to save and invest. That is classic. So with that being said, I hope you guys really liked this episode. And yeah, let me know what you think. Contact me anytime you want to help with your dreams and goals, and hold me accountable to saving. All right, guys, have a great one. Bye bye.